It's the Jack and Nick Horror Show.
You hear that Christmas music?
No, I actually don't.
No, it's the same intro every week. But it's our Christmas episode.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Of Jack and Nick.
Of Jack and Nick. Well, time out. It's 2017, so we can't call it a Christmas episode.
Oh no.
No, we can't. It's the holiday episode of Jack and Nick. We're celebrating the holidays.
I mean, it could be about Kwanzaa.
Could be about 4th of July.
Are there any Kwanzaa horror movies? I don't know.
That's a industry that hasn't been tapped yet. I think they should. I think that. Merry everything, whatever. Tonight we're doing a special show. We're doing Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
This is the second in like a 5 or 6 movie series, right?
Yeah. Well, 5. Yeah, 5 movies total. We'll get to them in a moment. However, what else are we doing tonight, Nick?
I guess we're going to talk about other horror movies that deal with holiday that may involve baby Jesus or something.
They could.
Yeah. Oh, can I talk about a joke that's in a movie that I thought was like took me aback when I had to be forced to watch this movie?
Sure.
As you may know, I have a 4-year-old son, right? Mm-hmm. And he's been wanting to watch Boss Baby, and we like avoided it. You know, it was in and out of theaters real quick, and he didn't notice. And I was like, made it. Came on Netflix like a couple of weeks ago. So now he watches it like roughly 3 times a week, and I work from home now for 4 days a week, so I have seen Boss Baby several times. And there's this one joke in the movie, right? If you don't know what it is, it's a movie where a boss is a baby for some reason. It's like CGI animated DreamWorks. What?
That's the title of the movie.
Right.
Yeah. Boss
Baby. So the Boss Baby, at one point, they're like, "Who do you think you are, baby? The baby Jesus?" And he goes, "Yeah, I am the baby Jesus." And I was like, what just happened in this movie? That was made for my 4-year-old, presumably.
So he's going to grow up thinking that Boss Baby is the baby Jesus.
Dude, he's been making jokes about it. Like, haha, he's the baby Jesus. And I'm like, don't say that. What if they hear you? It's not like we're religious, even though we have to make a holiday episode. But I was like, taken aback.
You celebrate it like the British do with the Father Christmas thing, right?
Father Christmas, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
No, but then he's going to think it's like about me.
Yeah, it's all about... Anyway, movie. Let's go do that.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the classic horror movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 from 1980 something.
Yes, and then we're gonna freestyle some Christmas horror movies for you. Okay, here we go. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, 1987. 1 hour and 28 minutes. Horror thriller.
Thriller, they call it?
Yeah. Stars Eric Freeman, as well as other people, one of which is Elizabeth Caton, who you might know from Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Let's see. Director, Lee Harry. You know who Lee Harry is, right?
No. Should I?
No.
Oh, okay.
He directed some stuff, but nothing. I don't think he directed 3 movies: Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, Street Soldiers, and a short called The Whistler. That's about it.
The Whistler.
The Whistler. He is an editor of sorts. He edited his own movies, and he wrote his own movies. Anyway, so the plot of this one is the now adult Ricky talks to a psychiatrist about how he became a murderer after his brother Billy died, which leads back to Mother Superior. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
First, I got to ask a question.
I got answers.
I can't remember the first one. In fact, I can't remember any of the movies.
Okay. You don't have to remember the first one, Nick. You know why?
Because this is not related?
No. The first 40 minutes of this movie is the first movie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All those flashbacks are the first movie. What Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 does is they do this thing, and this was huge in the 80s and 90s, where you had a movie that was a moderate success or made some kind of waves, which the original movie to this did. And so they go direct-to-video sequel. With the direct-to-video sequel, it usually either has absolutely nothing to do with the original, or they try to put in as much filler bullshit into the movie as possible to stretch out that time. So this is like a person that's obsessed with retro stuff's wet dream, because the first 40 minutes of this movie are basically the full version of the first movie. So, except told in a, let's say, a Cliff Notes version of it. The first Silent Night, Deadly Night is very, very dreadful. It's not a fun movie. People think it's a fun movie. It really isn't that fun at all. Yeah, I mean, Linnea gets her, the deer antlers go through her, whatever. When a mom gets raped and dad gets shot in the beginning from a Santa Claus, and by the way, when you're a baby, unless you're Boss Baby, you're not going to fucking know what's going on. You're not going to see your mom get raped and go, oh yeah, she's getting raped. You're a baby. You don't know what's going on. And you're in a car. You can't see through the car. You can't see through the seat in front of you. You're a baby. You're a baby.
Right.
So Ricky is the baby that's in the car, the first one, who's now grown up. His brother is Billy from the first one, who did see his mom get raped by Santa Claus, grew up in the orphanage and was treated like crap by Mother Superior, who wanted to get her ass killed in the first one. And now she's in this one, and more than likely she might get her comeuppance. She is a bitch. I mean, she's a real bitch, and she doesn't die in the first one. So, the one person you want to see get her ass killed does not. So, Nick, what are your thoughts on Silent Night, Deadly Night 2?
So Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, man. You ever see the movie Forrest Gump?
Yes.
Okay. You know how it's like sort of told all while he's sitting on a park bench? Yeah. And like it's not really like, I mean, he's telling a story. It's not necessarily a cohesive story, and it's got an unreliable narrator as it goes from, all these adventures that he's gone throughout his whole life, right? And it's showing it to you almost like the anthology. Like we're looking at the photo book, the photo album of Forrest Gump's life in movie form, aren't we? Mm-hmm. This movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, is the Forrest Gump of Killer Santa movies. Because, all right, the first, I'd say, like 45 minutes to an hour of the movie are like a dude in a padded room in a mental asylum telling his psychiatrist, confessing all of his crimes to him. And like all of these crimes are just being shown almost as if they're short stories about a boy who was abused, whose parents were killed by Santa, and he grew up in like horrible situation, and like instead of like, you know, in Forrest Gump like meeting Elvis and then John Lennon and stuff, he like becomes a killer Santa and kills people as Santa and falls in love much like Forrest Gump did, and he has sex for the first time at age 35 like Forrest Gump, and like it's just weird, and it's, I mean, when you look at it as a narrative, it's a terrible narrative. But it's also fascinating, and it's goofy, and it goes from like murder to murder in the way like a skit show goes from skit to skit. Like just like in Forrest Gump,
Yeah.
he doesn't spend that much time in Vietnam. Only like 12 minutes of the movie is he in Vietnam, but it's a big part of the movie, you know? Kind of like the scene in this movie where there's some kids who are worried about sledding down a hill and they might hit some trees, and then they're hit up by these sled thieves, right? Mm-hmm. But then the sled thieves steal the sleds and chase off the kids, and then they're like, let's go sledding now. But there's an evil Santa there going, naughty, naughty, and, you know, decapitates them. This happens in this movie over and over again.
Which is the one of the pivotal scenes in the first movie. it's the same scene. It's just cut back into this one. Like all the shots and scenes from the original movie are in this movie. And I know different people say that we say this movie a lot. It happens. Your mom. Well, anyway,
say that a lot too.
Your mom.
My God. So this movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, it's almost Troll 2 level in its awfulness, especially in terms of its acting, and
well,
I don't think it's got the same charm that Troll 2 has, because you feel like Troll 2 they were really trying. In this, I don't think they were trying.
They're trying something. I gotta say, both of these movies, like the first Silent Night, Deadly Night, I liked the dude that played Billy. He was really good. Now Eric Freeman, people love making fun of this guy. And a lot of people will like him ironically, like, oh yeah, he's the best actor ever, you know, whatever. Eric Freeman really was giving it his all for that. You could tell the guy was really going for Psycho guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was going for it. Doesn't necessarily work, and it works at a not in his favor, where you're like laughing at him every time he like raises his eyebrows when he talks. But there's so much charm to him in it where it couldn't be played by anybody else but him. It really can't. I mean, he does. Funny thing is that he was in a bunch of low budget movies. I know it's a shock. The one in particular that I just recently saw was Murder Weapon with Linnea Quigley. And that one is like kind of like Slumber Party Massacre, except the female's the killer and it's all guys. And his head explodes in it.
I don't know if that's a recommendation for his acting skills.
It really is, dude. It's so good. What is it? Vinegar Syndrome put out the double disc of Murder Weapon and some other Linnea Quigley movie, both directed by David Dakota. And man, Murder Weapon's so good. It's kind of like this movie where it's terrible, but it's terribly good. It's, you know, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 does feature, spoiler alert, the death of Mother Superior, which is what you wanted from the first one. So if you bookend this, like you watch the first movie, and then when the second one starts, you know, if you gotta take a shit or something, go take a shit. Just let it play, because you're not missing anything. Because you just saw it, all right? And if it's got to be a 40-minute long one, go take your 40-minute poop and then come back, and you'll be fine. Because I think they even shoehorned Ricky into it, because I don't remember if they mentioned that was Ricky, or maybe it was Ricky from the first one, but they didn't say that was his brother. Because there was no, like, I don't know, it was very, very out there. But the way I came into this movie, I didn't watch, I watched the first one a lot, but I didn't watch this one until, what was it, 2008, I want to say? I think it was 2008. This is when YouTube started to become a thing, and I was at my girlfriend at the time's house, and I was just trying to find something really bad. This is when I first discovered Samurai Cop, Nick. And I saw the Garbage Day clip, and I said, I gotta watch this movie.
Right, you're probably familiar with the Garbage Day clip.
Yeah.
It's a GIF, it's a video that everybody has seen. If you've not seen the movie Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, now you know the whole thing comes from this movie, where the guy is watching somebody put out the trash. He goes over, he puts out a trash can, and the character goes, "Garbage Day!" and shoots him. I actually want to just narrate from memory that whole scene. Can I just?
Sure, go right ahead.
Let's take a moment as I spoil the entire scene for you. So, this character, Ricky, has fallen in love with a woman that he never wanted to lose, and she's a blonde, beautiful girl from the 80s, as you'd expect them to look, with a round butt. And she, they're in love, and, he thought it was her first time, too, at age 35 when they have sex. Mm-hmm. For some reason, he assumed this, and then he finds out it wasn't, and it kind of break up, but then he's like, naughty, naughty! And, they're standing outside on the street, so he breaks off the car antenna, and she goes, uh-oh, and turns to run away. I don't even know what she thought was going to happen there, but she gets choked out and garroted, right around the neck with the antenna, which apparently was just bendable enough yet not breakable enough to garrote someone in the street, and she gets murdered. The police show up, and they're like, I'm gonna arrest you now, and I'm gonna shoot you with this gun if you don't get arrested. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? And he's pointing the gun at his chest. He's way up next to him, and he's shaking the gun around, almost like a disapproving teacher would shake their finger at a young child who had let the hamster get out in the classroom or something, right? Blah, blah, blah. But he's doing it with the gun, and then the guy, Ricky, grabs the gun and forces the gun into the cop's forehead and blows a hole in it, and he dies in the street. And then he takes the gun, and he's just walking around, and somebody comes running out going, "Hey, what's all that noise out here?" And just boom, he shoots him. And then he's walking along, and somebody's somebody who's completely oblivious to the whole world, because a girl got strangled in the street, a cop showed up and got shot, and this other dude got shot just for yelling. And this guy's I got to take out the trash, man. I don't give a shit about anything. And he brings out the trash, and he's just leaves it there on the corner, and he's just "Garbage Day," and he's a Grand Theft Auto character just walking around, just not even a Grand Theft Auto character. He is someone playing Grand Theft Auto like a maniac, and just walking around shooting people in the street. It's pretty brilliant. And then just like Forrest Gump, it goes back to the asylum, and the dude's "But I killed the guy who I was telling the story to, and now I'm free." And then the last 20 minutes of the movie, you're experiencing in real time, as you do at the end of Forrest Gump, when the lady's "Oh, but Jenny lives just right around the corner, Forrest." And he's "Really?" And he goes running. And in this movie, it's that he killed the psychiatrist and escaped, and now he's going on some sort of murder spree, and he goes around and he murders Mother Superior and others, and Santa, and
According to IMDb's trivia, by the way, Ricky's eyebrows move up and down 130 times.
Really?
You know, some people really do have to get a life. They really do.
I wonder who counted that. I wonder who. How hairy is that man's neck?
It must be very,
Harry Knowles level.
Yeah.
But okay, one other thing with this, we were talking about the acting of the dude who plays Ricky. My favorite part of his acting, in quotes, is when he picks up the gun from the cop and he like looks at it and he's like, yeah, almost like Beavis picking up a dead frog. Like he's like, yeah, I'm gonna cause some mayhem with this, and then he like stops and he like looks around all like, now I'm American Psycho,
Yep.
What a great scene! What a terrible scene! What a terrible movie! And I've seen it multiple times in my life because I'm nuts.
One more thing too, if anybody's a fan of what's that movie? What is it? The one that they said that Tom Savini did special effects, but he did not.
Oh, what? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, man, I can't remember the name of it right now. My brain is fried.
Great story.
But no, the guy in that resembles Ricky almost to a T. Like he has the eyebrow raised. Yeah, I can't remember. It's like I'll remember it. Trust me, I'll be like, oh yeah, that fucking movie.
Tune in 2 months when we put out our next episode.
Remember that time? So Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. I'm just going to go through them real quick.
Oh, yeah. Please do.
Okay, so have you seen the other three?
I can't remember which ones I've seen. I think I've seen 1, 2, and either 3 or 4, and I've definitely seen the remake.
Okay. All right, so 3 stars your favorite actor in the world, which is Bill Moseley, and he's playing Ricky. The same Ricky.
Really?
Yeah, from this, who's comatose. And he barely even speaks in that. 3 to me is okay. It's not terrible. It's kind of like, it's not as entertaining as 2. Absolutely not as entertaining as 2. But it's one that I don't remember much about at all, because it's just like, it doesn't feel like a Silent Night, Deadly Night movie. It feels like another one of those generic movies, if you will. Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 is the horror all-stars movie that has absolutely nothing to do with 1, 2, or 3 or any characters or Santa Claus. It has what is it? Clint Howard's in it, Reggie Bannister, the girl was in Moonlighting. There's a lot of people in it. This one here's the plot synopsis. Oh yeah, it was directed by Brian Usna, who made Return of the Living Dead 3 and was it Bride of Reanimator, and he was
and other crap.
Yeah, well, he made Society, which is really awesome. But anyway, let me bring up the synopsis here on this one. A reporter investigating the bizarre death of a woman who leaped from a building in flames finds herself mixed up in a cult of witches who are making her part of their sacrificial ceremony during the Christmas season.
Great. That's the one I've seen. I'm watching the trailer for it. Mm-hmm. And just from that description, I can recall reading that description and saying, oh, yes.
Yeah.
I will watch this one. And again, I barely remember the movie. I watched it like 15, 20 years ago. I can't remember them all. I'm sorry, kids.
Now, 5. Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, starring Mickey Rooney, is really fun. It's terrible, but it's fun. It kind of has the same feeling as 2, except it doesn't show you about 40 minutes of flashbacks told by a eyebrow-raising Forrest Gump guy. All right? It's... 5 is fun and stupid. And yeah, the plot of that one is an elderly toy maker and his son make killer toys designed to kill their customers' children.
Wow.
So that one's pretty interesting and fun. Not the best. All three of the sequels, well, all four of the sequels, are fucking terrible movies. They're all bad. But you could get something out of them if you just watch them for what they are.
And the remake, which we had previously reviewed on some podcast we were used to be a part of. It is what it is, man. I feel like, all right, like we live in like grim dark times where every movie has to be very realistic and grim dark, and this movie could have really benefited from a little bit more campiness, but it does have Malcolm McDowell playing a sheriff. And first off, that's inexplicable as it is, but I love Malcolm McDowell, like one of my very favorites, right? Probably my very favorite actor. Like if Malcolm McDowell's in a movie, I know I'm going to automatically enjoy it more. But there's a part where he like figures out the plot, and he's like, and his great exclamation, like I finally figured it out, is that puts the avocado on the cheeseburger. And I love that line because I don't understand it at all.
Have you ever had an avocado on a cheeseburger?
No, dude, I hate avocado. I'm one of those people. Like, dude, okay. I went to this sushi place the other day, and I was so mad because every roll has avocado in it. You don't have to put avocado in every roll.
It did become...
Philadelphia roll with avocado in it, like a big chunk. I was so mad.
I don't know how they became like a big deal all of a sudden. It's kind of like, remember the whole bacon thing where everybody was like bacon this and bacon that. Now it's like, oh, I gotta have guacamole, and I mean the shit's delicious. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but yeah, I don't have to have it on everything.
You know, I'm glad you brought up bacon because you remember how like, okay, everybody was like, oh, bacon, everything, bacon. Let's make jokes about bacon, and that's kind of faded over time. And at first, anything that starts like that is like, oh, it's kind of clever and kind of funny, and we're all enjoying this. But then some people take it too far, and you no longer enjoy it, and you almost never want to eat bacon anymore. You know what I'm at that point with this year? It's a Christmas discussion. But what is it, Chad?
I thought it was the thing where you put your index finger and roll it to your thumb so you punch somebody.
No idea what you're talking about. Yeah. But what I've had it with is...
I don't know what it's called.
All right, Die Hard, okay? Die Hard is a Christmas movie. This used to be like a funny thing to say or kind of a clever way to look at Die Hard. Or, hey, watch Die Hard around the holidays. Now... if you go on Twitter and like search Die Hard Christmas movie, okay?
Yeah, they take it serious, yeah.
It's fucking all out war.
Yeah.
It's war.
They're like, it is a Christmas movie. Well, it's like, what about the sequel, dummy?
Like, this is not something that you have to have strong feelings about. You can feel about it and be like, yes, to me, that's a Christmas movie. To me, Gremlins is a Christmas movie, because obviously it is. But I don't go around going like, motherfucker, you will burn. You know?
Yeah.
Hey,
we just speaking of which, we just watched or I rewatched something that never, and this is not horror, but I don't care because we can take a break from horror for a second. It's Christmas after all. Think of this as a surprise gift. Long Kiss Goodnight, right? That's a Christmas action movie. And you know, I brought it up the other day because my girlfriend, she hadn't seen it. And I said, you know, I'm a big Shane Black fan. He's not a huge fan of that movie because they changed a lot of his script, but a lot of it's in there still. It's a really fun movie. And the thing that bothered me back then when I saw it, it was like 1996 when it came out. I was like, here you go. Here's a lead female action star kicking ass, taking names, acting like a real badass, and has a partner who's Samuel L. Jackson. And what happened? Nobody went to see it. And this is why they don't make those movies, because nobody went to see that movie. And I always bothered me all these years, like back then, even way back then. I said, why is nobody going to see this? I love Gina Davis, but you know, I understand not everybody's a big Gina Davis fan, but the movie even looked like it was going to be a fun action movie taking place during Christmas. Nobody went to see it. And it failed at the box office. Watched it the other night. My girlfriend was like, this movie's fucking great. I said, I know. It's what killed me back then. That's a Christmas movie, but it's not a Christmas. It's not necessarily. It just takes place during Christmas.
Right.
You know? All Shane Black's movies take place during Lethal Weapon. That's a Christmas movie if they want to have an argument about it. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a Christmas movie.
Batman Returns.
Invasion USA.
But anyway, it's like, dude, just like have fun.
Yeah.
We were talking about it being a Christmas movie, like before we were podcasting, we were making that joke like 10 years ago. Oh, it's a Christmas movie. Okay, it's clever when you first think of it. When everybody has a take on it, and I mean a hot take on whether or not it's a Christmas movie, dude, everybody chill.
Relax.
People are out there arguing about it, and you know what? I bet those people haven't even seen Die Hard. Anyway, going back to what we're supposed to be talking about, Silent Night, Deadly Night, the remake. It's just called Silent Night. It's got Malcolm McDowell in it and Santa Claus walking around with a flamethrower. It takes itself a little too seriously, especially for a movie with Malcolm McDowell playing a sheriff. But I didn't hate it, but it's a once and done movie. And it's honestly probably the best in quotes movie in the series.
No, I'd still give it to. I think 2 and 1 are tied for me.
Well, I meant quality wise. I meant
That's what I meant.
No. Quality, as in quality movie, not like
the first one
that I would even choose to watch. These movies are trash. Cinema garbage. But it's fun to watch these movies.
I was a little one when the first one came out in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I was all part of that shit. About the parents flipping out and having them pull that movie from the theater.
Right.
I was little, and I was like, yeah, you go. Get that trash out of there. That Santa Claus isn't bad. He brings me gifts. That's just mean. And then, I got hair on ball, and then I was like, what was I thinking back then? This is great.
Right. I was thinking about that yesterday, man. I was like, man, my son, he all believes in Santa Claus and stuff. And when he gets older, he's going to be so mad at me when he finds out that Santa Claus isn't real. And I'm like, in my mid-30s, and I'm like, no, Santa is real. Santa is inside of all of us.
My mom told me that there was no Santa Claus when I was in 2nd grade.
That's about when I figured it out myself.
Yeah. And I went to school the next day, and it was during Christmas time, and we were singing about Santa Claus, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
If only they knew. They probably did. So, let's freestyle some Christmas movies.
Sure.
Christmas horror movies.
Let's do it.
Christmas horror movies, they're a thing now. They've always they kind of been a thing.
Oh, but nowadays, especially the past couple of years, tons of Christmas horror movies, especially because of Krampus.
So
Krampus was a success. Now there's like 20 movies with the word Krampus in the title.
I know. Now everybody celebrates Krampus all of a sudden.
Yep.
It's gonna be the Die Hard as a Christmas movie thing. So, okay. So, I just for the freestyle, we don't have to make it too serious or anything. We're gonna go through. I got a little list of Christmas horror movies through Google. I don't know if you guys know how to use Google or not, but I'm gonna go through the list of movies, and Nick and I are gonna comment on them. We're not gonna go too long in our discussion on these, but
2 hours later.
Yeah, 2 hours later. All right. So, first one I see on here is A Christmas Horror Story, which came out in 2015. Have you seen it?
No, did you?
Yes, I have it. And
is this the one that you liked?
Yeah, it's an anthology movie, and it's pretty cool. And then, guess what? It has Krampus in it, too. Don't be misled by the stupid poster where it has Krampus versus Santa Claus. Just don't worry about it. It's a cool thing. It's a cool movie, and it has a really cool wraparound. So the wraparound actually works in that movie more so than many anthology movies. And it also has William Shatner in it too. All right, Black Christmas, 1974. We both, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. Period.
Mm-hmm. It is what all other Killer Santa movies aspire to be. It also has John Saxon in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's an automatic 2 stars. Even if the movie was as bad as Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, automatic 2 stars because you have John Saxon in it. Extra star if he's playing a police officer.
Gremlins.
Oh, yes. Gremlins. In that movie, the police officer is played by the guy who was Mike in Breaking Bad. Fun story. You don't realize it until you realize it, and then you can never unsee the fact that it's Mike playing a police officer. And maybe it takes place in the Breaking Bad universe because Mike used to be a police officer.
Did you ever see Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah.
He's Victor Maitland's right-hand man.
I have no idea what that means. I don't remember this movie.
Hey, cuz.
No, see, I have like brain damage or something. I can't remember movies that I've only seen once.
He's actually a cop in 48 Hours as well. That dude. That same guy. Anyway, Krampus.
There's a lot of cops. Yeah. Plays a lot of bad guys. Also does a lot of voice work. He's in like every cartoon. Yeah. Go look it up.
Krampus.
Krampus. Do you mean the real Krampus?
Yeah, the 2015 Krampus.
The real Krampus. Because, man, there have been, seriously, I'm not even kidding, like tons of movies every year. Go to Walmart and look at the Krampus movies that came out this week. Because there are a ton of Krampus movies at Walmart. And it's like, Krampus Unleashed, Krampus Returns, all sorts of things, none of them related to the real Krampus, which I would say is probably the second best Christmas horror movie behind Black Christmas. I don't know if I'm right, but I really enjoy that movie. It's on HBO now. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to watch it this week because I want to watch it again, and it's so good. I might watch it tomorrow, in fact.
I know you're not a fan of that guy's first movie.
Oh, no, I am not. The guy, what's his name, Doherty?
Michael Dougherty, yeah.
Doherty. No, I don't like Trick or Treat. I don't care if you don't like me for that. I don't like it.
No, I don't.
I'm talking to the people.
Oh, I don't care.
Trick or Treat. Oh, and apparently there was some sort of scene that connects the two movies that was deleted, but it recently got released. Somebody, the horror sites are making a big deal out of it, but I don't really care. But anyway, Krampus, very funny, very good. Totally check that one out.
I really enjoyed that one. It's a lot darker than what I expected, too.
Mm-hmm. It's just a good horror movie.
Next one, Santa's Sleigh.
Oh, is this the one with Bill Goldberg playing... Yeah. I always wanted to see that one back in the day when it came out, like 2001, 2002, because I was watching like every terrible horror movie that came out back then. But at the time, like I kind of had this rule, and it still kind of stands till today. I don't really like to watch movies where wrestlers star in the movie. Right. I'm a big wrestling fan, huge wrestling fan. Probably like wrestling more than I like horror movies. And first off, I hate Goldberg. Second off, I hate watching wrestlers in movies. Like I can't even tell you how many of The Rock's movies I've seen. The dude's made 800 million movies, and I don't even know what movies I've seen him in because I just try and avoid them. The only wrestlers I make exception for are the late Roddy Piper and like a few others here and there. But in general, I try and avoid it just because it makes me like cringe a little to see wrestlers representing themselves terribly by trying to act.
Well, Santa's Sleigh is fun. That's all I'm gonna say. It is fun. You would probably enjoy it. And he hardly talks really. I'll go through a few more, and then there's one more I really want to mention.
He blocked me on Twitter.
Who, Bill Goldberg?
Bill Goldberg. Fuck him. He blocked me probably because I was bitching about him because I hate Goldberg. And it's like, dude, you have millions of followers. You got millions of followers, and you're out there searching Bill Goldberg on Twitter just to block people who are bitching about you? What a sensitive little prick you are. Fuck you, Goldberg.
Now he's going to block our show.
I hope he does. I can make him do it. I'll start tweeting about Goldberg.
Christmas Evil.
This one I don't know.
That one's starring Fiona Apple's dad.
Uh-huh.
Very serious movie. Way more serious than you would expect. It's kind of like Silent Night, Deadly Night, original, in a sense. It's more of like a character study, and it really doesn't turn into a horror movie until like the last 5 minutes. It's good, but it's depressing as shit. Anyway,
Okay.
Jack Frost.
Oh, well, you know what? Every time that somebody says the movie Jack Frost, I first get like almost like feel like I'm gonna puke because I'm thinking about the Michael Keaton movie, and it takes my breath away. If you play back this 20 seconds that just happened right here when Jack says Jack Frost, and I go, oh, that was the real reaction I have to that movie, because that movie with Michael Keaton playing like a kid's dead dad who gets reincarnated as a snowman, terrifying movie. I hate it so much. I watched it once. It made me so angry. I was a boy, I think, when that movie came out. I was like maybe like 12 or 13, maybe 14. And I watched that movie, and it was one of the first movies that really like made me seethe with anger that I watched it. But no, Jack Frost, the horror movies, Jack Frost and Jack Frost 2, the Hawaiian Adventure or whatever. My God, those are fun movies. They're totally stupid movies about a killer snowman, and you should watch them.
You should.
Pointing my finger at all you who haven't seen it. I enjoy them both. They're really stupid, really like brain dead movies that are just fun. Your opinion?
Oh, God. I mean...
You sounded like me reacting to the other Jack Frost movie.
I have Jack Frost on Blu-ray. So, all right. What did I tell you? Now, I really enjoyed the shit out of Jack Frost. Jack Frost 2 I saw once. Not that big of a fan of the second one. First one, yes.
I think I like the second one more.
I hate you. To All Good Night. Directed by David Hess, the late David Hess. That one's kind of like... you haven't seen that one, right?
No, I don't think so.
It's early 80s. It's got Jennifer Runyon in it. Later, I guess Jennifer Corman, not Roger's daughter. She married into the family. Or something like that. You know who Jennifer Runyon is? Ghostbusters, the girl in the beginning with the cards.
No.
Yeah. You know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that one.
Yeah.
The one that he's lying the cards about. Okay.
Yeah. I was just going to say, 8 o'clock. You are a legitimate phenomenon. That girl. Hey, it's a fun, terrible slasher movie that's kind of all over the place. I would definitely recommend it for slasher fans like myself. So, Jack, go watch it. All right. The last one I'm going to mention is I have to mention it, and I know you haven't seen it, but you're going to want to see it after I talk about it. It's called Deadly Little Christmas.
What is it?
Okay. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And not in a good way. Do you ever watch like a really bad... You know how, okay, people watch bad movies because they're like, oh my God, so bad it's good. And then they even that's becoming a cliche anymore. Have you ever watched a movie that's so bad that you just want to get angry at it?
Jack Frost.
There you go. But as you're watching it, you're getting more and more angry as it progresses. So this one stars Felissa Rose of Sleepaway Camp fame.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if I can bring up the synopsis here. Yeah, here we go. 15 years after slaughtering his entire family on Christmas Day, a psychotic killer flees from the asylum to finish what he started when he was just a little boy. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, let me just put it this way. When he stabs the father in the neck, you know those little trick knives that you get, the little plastic ones?
Yeah, the blade like pokes in when you poke with it so it doesn't actually hurt you.
Yeah, that's what he kills him with. Like, he puts it up to his neck and it goes, like, full shot of it going back into the handle.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a little drop of blood on his neck and he's like, oh. the detective in the movie is a guy that has a nervous tic where he continuously says, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Like, the whole movie.
Like
Whenever,
Mr. Mackey.
yeah, he's like the Mackey's cousin or something. He goes, I'm going to step aside, okay? I need you to pretend to be okay, okay? Like, every single thing.
Oh my god.
So, there's another lovely scene in there where two actors are talking and they can't remember their lines, and the music's playing in the background, like the score, if you want to call it that. And they're both waiting, and they're repeating the same lines over and over again. Like, it's like, I can't remember the line in particular, but it's like something along those lines of, maybe we should check in the box. You know, if we look in the box, I mean, maybe we should look in the box. I mean, the box we should look at. It's like that. And they're both like looking around, like it's, you know, and it's filmed on like DV. It's just terrible. I don't even think you can buy it or find it anywhere. I think on purpose. I got it when I was living in California. I was like really looking forward to it because, you know, anything that's slasher, Christmas, whatever, anything that has the word slasher in it, I'm watching it. And it had
Obviously.
that, but man,
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. Not a good movie.
Doesn't sound good.
No.
But I do watch garbage. Like when I hear that something's garbage, I'm like, yep.
Deadly Little Christmas. Look it up. Get back to us next year. That'll be our movie of the year next year. Next Christmas.
Yeah.
We'll record it tomorrow. Anyway, Nick, that's it for our Christmas episode. Do you think the people are going to be sad?
I don't know. I mean, I hope that they like it. Right?
I hope so too, yeah.
Oh, man,
We're
I
tired.
really, I'm glad we got a Christmas episode
Yeah,
in.
me too, man. Yeah.
So.
That's what we're trying our best.
Mm-hmm.
I may sound like I'm drunk, but I don't drink. I'm just really tired.
Yeah.
And I'm on
So-
vacation. That's weird. Go
Our
on.
next episode, which will probably come out within the next quarter year or more, is going to be our year ender for this year, coming out next year. And it's you know, maybe it'll be a year-end episode that recaps the year and is about our top 5 and bottom 1, as we like to do. And Jack might just throw in a movie from like 3 years ago. You never know.
I think it's the number 1 is going to be a Strange Color of Your Body's Tears again this year.
For the 4th year in a row.
No, it's not. It might be The Babysitter.
Man.
Never know.
I just read online as I was like going back to like, you know, shut down Skype and stuff. I just read online that soon World War Z will be adapted as a video game, right? They just announced it tonight at the Video Game Awards show. That's how long ago we recorded this. The Video Game Awards were going on. So anyway, I was just thinking the other day about that movie that came out that was supposed to be an adaptation of the book World War Z, and it was so terrible, and I said it was such garbage, blah 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 blah. Go back and listen to my review if you can find it in the depths of the internet. But I just wanted to point out, and I'm so glad I remembered to point it out on this show, nobody remembers that movie. It's only been 4 short years. Nobody remembers that movie.
I remember it.
Shut up. I remember. No.
Oh, remember what was he? Oh, yeah, I remember.
Remember
Remember
Star
Brad
Wars?
Pitt? Oh, I remember Brad Pitt. Remember Matthew Fox? I remember Matthew Fox. Remember Rittenhouse Square?
So, guys, thanks for listening. As always, follow us at Jack and Nick Show on Twitter. Look us up on Tumblr. We've got a Tumblr. Seriously, though, you can actually look us up on YouTube because we actually have a YouTube where you can listen to us if you'd rather listen to us there. And if Santa brings me a PlayStation 4, me and Jack are probably going to stream some video games on it.
Oh my God! Yes, we can. We can record
we could do Dead by Daylight or something. We could do.
We could do that, or
something
Friday
like that.
13th, and
Ooh.
maybe. Oh wait, that's right. You already have it on Xbox, though. Shit.
Nah, I might have to rebuy it if it's for the show.
Good times. I can't wait. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening to our show. You can follow us on Twitter at Jack and Nick Show. You can follow Nick at New Jersey Nick. You can follow me at Jacob K666. And
That's him.
you can follow yourself.
Merry holiday
stuff.
Holiday.
And things.
Okay.
All right. Nick.
Talk to you. Good night. Bye. What?
High five.
Oh, yes.
Ow.
that was a good one.
All right. Love your body, Larry. Good night.